Man is facing federal charges for forcing a CTA driver at gunpoint to drive him to a location off the bus route. Investigators say Maurice Lowry boarded the bus in West Englewood Wednesday night with a gun. He allegedly demanded the 64-year-old bus driver take a different route. After traveling a few blocks, he got off. Lowry was arrested about 20 minutes later.
And I told you guys that this stuff was going to get more and more brazen and more bold. And I told you guys, it's ignoring this is not, it's like a disease. Okay, so you at least want to treat it. Even if you can't cure it, you want to at least treat it. This is not treating the disease, not cure, nothing. So it's going to get worse. And it's going to expand and grow and grow. It's like mold, weed, anything. Weeds in your lawn. It's like anything. I mean, until this country addresses this guy got on the bus. And the bus, everybody knows, has been through this, where the bus doesn't drop you off in front of your house. It might drop you off several blocks, but that's the closest bus that comes to where your area is. So you got to get off and you got to walk a little while. Or the bus stop may be a block over, whatever. You know how it is. But this guy wanted the bus to drop him off exactly at his house. So he put a gun to the bus driver's head and made him drive him off the bus route to his house. Entitlement. This is what the summer of Floyd made. This is what all your protests made, sisters and pasty liberals. Now they think they're supposed to get they're entitled to your car. So if they see you getting in your car, they feel like they can just take it. They're entitled to your belongings. When they go in stores, they're entitled to everything in the store. They can just walk out with it. And you thought that was bad. Now, if the bus route don't take them where they wanted to take them, just put a gun to the driver's head and give him an offer he can't refuse. I saw this coming. I told you guys.
Man is facing federal charges for forcing a CTA driver at gunpoint to drive him to a location off the bus route. Investigators say Maurice Lowry boarded the bus in West Englewood Wednesday night with a gun. He allegedly demanded the 64-year-old bus driver take a different route. After traveling a few blocks, he got off. Lowry was arrested about 20 minutes later. He faces one felony count of unlawful use of a weapon. The charges come one day after CTA drivers held a protest demanding safer conditions, citing an increase in attacks.
Now, ironically, I did the video on the bus drivers the other day in Chicago. And this is happening in every city, where the bus drivers are being attacked at an alarming rate. Okay? The same thing we see with the sisters being killed in the streets of Stan, how that's gone through the roof. These bus drivers' attacks have gone through the roof. To the point where they had to have a march to plead for something to be done about it.
More than 100 transit union members supported and their supporters took to the streets of Chicago today, all of them protesting what they call out-of-control attacks on CTA employees. CBS 2's Marissa Parra joining us live now in the loop to tell us what they fear and also, Marissa, what is and isn't being done.
Marie, they marched down Washington, and several of the same people who drive city buses like this one and several trains down here were saying that every day they show up to work, they live in fear. Now, when it comes to tracking assaults, we're told the CTA only keeps track of the assaults that send employees to the hospital, but today union members were saying to us that the assaults CTA doesn't track have skyrocketed.
And this is something they do in democratically run cities. They did this in the schools in Baltimore. In Baltimore a few years ago, 4 teachers were assaulted every day in the Baltimore public school system. So what did they do? Because they didn't want to make the teens look bad, they encouraged the teachers who got assaulted to not report and to only report if they were hospitalized. So if a student went upside your head, a student punched you in your jaw but didn't split your lip, or if a student pushed you into the chalkboard and, you bruised up, but you could take it. That didn't even count. The only ones counted when the teacher was taken out on a gurney. And still 4 teachers were assaulted every day in Baltimore public schools. And I think it's still happening like that. We had last year where they were doing the learning from home, the virtual learning. But the last year that we have numbers for, it was like that. And I see they're doing the same thing in Chicago with these bus drivers. So it looks like let's just say they say 5 bus drivers are assaulted every day. And you hear that as a citizen or somebody who gets the news or something like that, or somebody in charge of doing something about it, you say, that's a lot. Wow. That's shocking. And like I said, the stand is like the ocean. You have no idea the depths. You have no idea how deep it is. You think only 5 get assaulted a day? It's probably 20. But they only count the ones that leave the bus on a stretcher. So it keeps the numbers down. And it makes and the pasty liberals get to feel good because, the Sun Man don't look bad. And they get to say, I'm not like those Trump supporters. Meanwhile, their city is becoming unlivable. And sisters get to feel good because their baby daddies and their brothers and their boyfriends don't look bad. There's only 5 attacks a day on the Chicago Transit Authority system. But in reality, it's probably 30. But they're only going to count the ones that check into the hospital. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Now, when it comes to tracking assaults, we're told the CTA only keeps track of the assaults that send employees to the hospital, but today union members were saying to us that the assaults CTA doesn't track have skyrocketed.
What do we want for Christmas? Safety! When do we want it? Now!
The same streets they drive on, they marched on, and under. demanding ramped-up safety measures for CTA employees.
We are tired of being attacked on the bus. We are tired of CTA not listening to us.
This year, the unions representing Chicago bus drivers and rail operators tracked close to 400 physical and verbal assaults against their members.
They're punched. They're spit on. They have urine thrown on them. One was even hit with a frozen chicken. It's outrageous.
Many of those protesting.
And I've been attacked 3 times. The last time was at gunpoint.
This sister has been attacked 3 times. Who you think's attacking this? Who you think attacked this sister all 3 times? In front of a bus full of people.
And I've been attacked 3 times. The last time was at gunpoint.
Shared their own memories.
Spit on 3 times.
I was robbed at gunpoint on my lunch.
All of them sharing the same fear.
I've had to have counseling. I'm afraid to come to work, but I know if I don't come to work, I'm going to be homeless.
This year, we've covered story after story of attacks against CTA employees. The latest within the last week when a bus driver was beaten and attacked in the Loop. Just days ago, CBS 2 got a look at the Chicago Police Mass Transit Unit. They, along with CTA, have promised ramped up security patrols for employees on wheels and rails. But those same CTA employees are losing faith and patience.
But now it's out of hand. So we need our own policing back here at the CTA.
Stopping traffic at the same place where the latest bus driver was attacked. Union members and supporters warned more drastic measures could be on the horizon.
We get ready to shut down the street. Next time we're going to shut down the city.
CTA tells us in a statement they have seen a drop by 20% overall in transit crime. However, the transit union says that's simply not true. Our numbers also show otherwise. Reporting live from the Loop, Marissa Parra, CBS 2 News.
Marissa, thank you so much.
So, before you get all teary-eyed for these bus drivers, just last year, there was a pretty big scandal because the police needed to be moved around from place to place because there was so much unrest in the country. You remember that, the summer of Floyd. But the bus drivers, these same bus drivers that are protesting in the streets about getting marked upside their head by sunmen, just last year, were organizing using the same energy they're using to protest. You see how, adept they are at, organizing and protesting. They were using that same energy last year to organize against having to transport police because, police, they killed Floyd, so they bad. And we not moving them around. We not taking them here. We not taking them there. Let the people protest in peace. We not driving you over there to break up them protests. Them people had a right to protest. They're angry. So just last year, they were protesting against the city, using them to transport police to different, because you needed a lot of police. Like, you remember the unrest last, you know that. They needed a lot of police moved it, here, there, everywhere, to, kind of keep this stuff in check. It's keep the looting and the rioting and the destruction of property and the burning of buildings and the murder and the mayhem just reasonable. And CTA bus drivers was like, nah, you can't use us. We with the people. We stand in solidarity with the protesters. This is them just last year. And they were adamant about this. This was a big thing. Like, we're with the protesters. We're with the people. us taking you over here to this riot, or over here to this melee, or taking you over here to this burning of a building or burning of small businesses, and letting you out to, get things under control. That's siding with the man. That's siding with the police. The killer cops that's running around killing some men for no reason at all. Just hunting them. This is them just 1 year ago.
Man is facing federal charges for forcing a CTA driver at gunpoint to drive him to a location off the bus route. Investigators say Maurice Lowry boarded the bus in West Englewood Wednesday night with a gun. He allegedly demanded the 64-year-old bus driver take a different route. After traveling a few blocks, he got off. Lowry was arrested about 20 minutes later. He faces one felony count of unlawful use of a weapon. The charges come one day after CTA drivers held a protest demanding safer conditions, citing an increase in attacks.